Hi everybody, and another warm welcome to MGT 583, Managing for Sustainability. This is the week 1 intro video, an introduction to sustainability and sustainable development. Week 1 is really just a very soft lead into sustainability. I understand that many of you will have different levels of knowledge, and that's fine. But I just want to make sure that everybody has a foundation level of understanding in terms of the origins of sustainability and particularly sustainable development. I want to make sure that we touch upon issues of limits to growth, a fairly fundamental concept in sustainability, that we operate in this resource-constrained world. There is only so much copper, gold, water in the world for us to use and reuse. I'm going to talk a little bit about policies and indicators for sustainable development. Particularly for business, this week's session touches on those drivers for business and what is shaping what businesses do in terms of sustainability. We're going to talk a little bit about the 3 pillars or the triple bottom line, and also the literature will touch upon how we can reorientate our view of the world from a commercial perspective, from the purely economic, to incorporate the environmental and the social. So the reading this week is the textbook Moscato chapters 1 and 4, touching upon corporate sustainability and also sustainable development. Another piece that I've given you is a piece of research from KPMG, which is now about 15 months old and will soon be updated, I'm sure, entitled Expect the Unexpected, Building Business Value in a Changing World. And this report is fairly critical, one, because it's written by one of the big 4 accountancy firms. So, it's not written by a bunch of tree-hugging greenies, but it is very much written by an organisation that generates its income from business, traditionally quite a conservative organisation, and their view of how businesses are going to be impacted by key megaforces. I think they refer to them as megaforces in the literature. So KPMG talk about these 10 megaforces that are going to shape business, and they probably don't come as a surprise, but they are a changing climate, water constraints, resource constraints, population growth, urbanisation, food scarcity, etc. So again, a really valuable report because of its origins and because it really cuts to the quick. And the report tells us that essentially businesses have got to change the way that they do things. If they don't, then we are going to come up against some fairly immovable barriers. The final piece of reading, of essential reading that I included on the list, was something from the World Commission on Environment and Development. It's a 1987 report, often called the Brundtland Report, entitled Our Common Future. And Our Common Future is often referred to as the catalyst for this modern day concept and trend that we now view as sustainability. And Our Common Future looks at some of those big issues that we have to address and that businesses have to address. So look, the essential reading is fairly broad, and we'll really touch upon and go to the core of what is sustainability. The exercise I've asked you to do, or one of the exercises I've asked you to do, is to look at a video from ARIES, the Australian Research Institute for Environment and Sustainability at Macquarie University, and their video shining a light on sustainability. And I'm hoping that from that you can take out what sustainability means, get an understanding around environmental impacts and ecological footprints, also impacts upon biodiversity, the role of people, and how businesses can pursue a sustainable path, and a few examples of some really good corporate sustainability initiatives. Your first learning journal or blog entry this week relates to that video and asks you to look at threats and opportunities from sustainability and relate it back to an organisation with which you're familiar. So I'm sure you won't have too much trouble doing that. I then get you to look at a case study of an organisation in the book called Warrington International, And this really raises issues around what is sustainability from a corporate perspective. Many businesses are claiming to be sustainable, but what does sustainability actually mean? What does it mean from a business perspective? And perhaps more importantly, what does it mean from a product perspective? Again, we're seeing lots of products that are supposedly sustainable. So, what do companies mean when they say sustainable? What do we mean when we think of sustainable product, and how do the two compare? And then this week's discussion forum, I've asked you to look at some of the readings that I've alluded to, and then to think about the role of government and the role of business in addressing these key sustainability and responsibility issues. So what should the role of government be in promoting and driving and enforcing sustainability? We've seen attempts from government to promote and oblige companies to behave more sustainably, everything from the carbon tax, for example, to laws around environmental management, laws around governance and disclosure. What should the role of governments be in this, and what should the role of business be? Do we think that Milton Friedman was right when he said in his famous interview that the business of business is business, and that anything else is a distraction and dilutes the returns to shareholders? I get you to look at a little interview with the CEO of Starbucks, who has some views on this and how the agenda for sustainability and wealth generation ties in. And then a little bit of a reflection piece at the end. So look, this is week one. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it gives you a bit of an overview to sustainability. I hope that it lays that foundation block for the rest of the module. And I look forward to your contributions through your learning journal on the blog and through the discussion forum. And as always, if you have questions, please feel free to contact me. So enjoy the first week, and welcome again.